Hello, everyone who isn't here yet because Christina and Angie are having technical difficulties over on their so
Going back to
Weird
the
to
past
spin
to
the
win a
wheel for
lotto.
them. And oops, Robert won.
I should change my name.
going back to the past to win the lot. That would be fun if we could do it that way. And
It would
Matthew's
be
in the middle of
nice.
showing off his latest haul. But I did watch all three Back to the Futures.
Sweet.
And on Matthew's request, I also watched the Back to the Future episode of the movies that made us, which I honestly really love that docu-series and the toys that made us. I honestly really love both those series, so I was very happy to watch that. But
What's going on, Princess Luna? How are you?
hello, that's a new name too. Nice. But you want to just go ahead and go on with the questions? I'm sure you have several, Brandy. All of you do.
Well, I mean, we're all big enthusiasts of it, and so you and I kind of talked a little bit, between after you watched the second one, but we haven't talked about anything since the third one. So, do you now understand why there were cliffhangers at the end of the first two?
Well, I understood the cliffhangers because of the trilogy or what. I knew there was a trilogy of it. But they had to have a lot of confidence in that first movie to go ahead and end it on a cliffhanger like that. Like, yeah, we're totally going to make another one.
Well, did you know, though, that it went through... They weren't going to make it. It got turned down like a ton of times.
Yeah.
Was it 40 or something like that, Matthew? Something crazy like that?
Yeah.
And before they ended up deciding to make it. And so there wasn't confidence in it. And did you... I mean, you saw the documentary, but you knew that Eric Stoltz was originally cast as Marty McFly.
Yeah.
And there's still a part of just his hand in one of the scenes in the movie, but and I actually listened to Michael J. Fox's autobiography, and it talked about how he just wasn't available. Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Your hubs is somewhere like within like a 10-minute radius of me at the moment.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was at I'm at 32 Mile. He was at 23 Mile getting a sub. So I don't know. I don't know where he's going this evening.
You all just told him to come to your house and raid your pantry.
The pantry is sacred.
Excuse me.
No, because there's such bad storms and stuff, and I don't know where there's a place for him to put his truck. He can't leave it in the streets in Romeo. He'll get towed.
Yeah.
So I don't know where he would go. I don't know if he's going back up to the one that he was at before, or if he's sticking around down here. But, okay, back to the movie. So, now that you've seen all three, which one was your favorite and why?
I honestly like the third one. I don't know why you guys diss on it.
First of all, I don't hate on part 3.
But everyone keeps saying that it's like it's the one that they shouldn't have made. But I'm like, I can see why people don't like it as much as like the futuristic one, but I've always been a history buff, so I always kind of like the ones where they're like, in the past or whatever. So I like the storyline. I like just the environment of the third one.
Jennifer's boyfriend. It's not that I dislike 3. Like, I'll still watch 3, but if I have a choice of which ones to watch, I will pick 1 or 2 first over number 3.
I liked third the best. I liked the first second, and I like the second one last.
No, it's 2, 3, 1. At least for me, because 2 being the more futuristic one was kind of fun, but also having them turn Biff into Donald Trump was awesome.
Yeah.
And then also for one special line, Back to the Future 2, with the Asian kid saying, "Unless you have power." They just stopped the movie after that one line, and now it would have been good.
Yeah.
Hey Nadia.
Hey Nadia. I agree with Matthew. My order would be 2, 1, 3. Why? I don't know why, but I'm so obsessed with this guy. The hoverboard just made that whole movie for me.
Well, yeah, but the hoverboard was also in the third one, not in the first one.
Well, I understand
Well,
that. That's why I said 2. But like the hoverboard, the pizza rehydrating. Now the funniest part, and Caitlyn, I don't know if this was in the documentary, that the original George McFly that was in part 1 refused to come back and do part 2. So even though the voice sounds like him, the guy that's that plays the older George McFly is not the same actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the
they use his
docuseries,
prosthetics.
in the docuseries, they said they had a really hard time with him on set. So it doesn't really surprise me.
I just see him being a weirdo. You know, a little off on his own.
Well, in the series, they said they had to actually build like a planter's box so he wouldn't be wandering off his mark for every scene.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time I think of him, I think of him being the villain in Charlie's Angels and taking the hair and going.
No, Willard with him petting the rats.
No thanks. Never seen it. That's okay. It's okay. It's not one that you should go for.
It's not on the list.
No, it's not on the list, not at all. So okay, let's start with part 1. Very 80s movie. You've got the whole soundtrack with Huey Lewis and the News, which I think is just become. Anytime you hear that song, the first thing you think of is Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear that song, I want to jump on a skateboard and grab on to the back of a Jeep.
Back of a Jeep.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
The best way to get to school.
Now, the garage that they filmed in is now gone, if I remember correctly. I think but the Burger King is still there?
Yep.
Is that right? I think.
Mm.
Well, you're the one that told me to watch Huey Lewis is in the movie, Matthew. That is correct. He is in
Clarissa.
The scene. Hey, Clarissa. He's in the scene in the gym. He's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw it.
When he gets to the scene, now I don't know if you watched this. Did you understand why the mall sign changes?
What do you mean the mall sign?
Not in the first one, but so. No, you're right. It's in the second one that it changes. So because the pine tree gets hit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's also but it is in the first one because the pine trees. No, it is in the first one, Matthew. But the sign doesn't change because he hits the pine trees when he goes back in time and he runs into the barn. Because where the barn is, where he's in the hazmat suit and gets out of the DeLorean, is the same place where now the mall exists.
I did not notice that. I noticed the one in the third movie where the name of the ravine changed, but that's the only thing that I really caught with that.
Well, they had to do something with the whole. Now, guys, since you guys are big fans, what did you guys think of the whole disappearing photo magic of that movie?
Hey,
I thought it was kind of fun.
It didn't make any sense. It was fun, but it didn't make any sense why it just suddenly disappears.
Well, to me, it reminds me of Escape from LA when Kurt Russell has like a little watch that's counting down to when he's going to die. It's kind of the same principle with Marty. Is that picture is time as it's slipping away from him. The people fade, and then finally, as in the first movie, his hand fades until the desired reaction from George and Lorraine making out on the dance floor.
I think that would make a cool pop of the one of him playing the guitar with his hand kind of clear and like fading in.
Yeah.
That would be a cool one. Now, have you guys noticed that, speaking of the pops, and Caitlyn, I know you have some questions, you can ask us questions about that, but in the pop lines, there's numbers missing. Do you think they're going to make a George McFly and a Lorraine and the siblings and Griff?
I mean, it would have made sense to make Riff, but I don't know. I don't really know if the parents would be that exciting to me.
No, first of all,
to you guys, probably.
Parallel 1985 Lorraine would be a big hit.
Okay.
Yep.
And,
I believe that.
And the alternate 85 Biff would be great. But for Biff, I would still want to see it like a 3 or a 4-pack of just all the different iterations of him.
That'd be cute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be cool. You could, I mean, well, we've got what 1955 Biff,
Yeah.
but we would need a 1985 where he's in like the velour suit.
But you can do 1885, 1985, 2015, and then the alternate 85. That would be my 4-pack.
That would be cool. I would love
I think
that.
it would sell. If they can sell that gigantic pack of whatever it is, BTS or whatever, they can sell that.
Yeah, but think about it. BTS is like got billions of fans. I mean, how many people? And then that's the sad part. And I know that we just had the anniversary and everything, but the sad part of it is that like younger generations don't have the same love for this movie of the people that are in their late 20s to early 50s.
I blame the parents.
Oh, I agree.
I asked my aunt if she ever watched this movie. She said she saw the first one when it first came out, and it was the most boring movie she'd ever seen.
Really?
She hated it. I was like, "You want to watch the rest of the trilogy?" She's like, "Hell no."
So you said you had questions about the pops. What did you have questions on?
Why are they green radioactive? I understand the thing ran on plutonium in the first one, but or in really all of them, I guess. But why make the green pop just so they could reuse the mold? Hey, Nazarene.
Yeah, just so they could reuse the mold, and it was the play on the plutonium thing. I mean, the glow limited edition things are popular.
But it doesn't make any sense. And there could also, like you guys said, there's different characters they can make, there's different versions they can make. But they chose that one. Where'd Bobber go?
Robert!
I'm back.
Hey, back.
My computer just was being a jerk for a minute.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm like you said, things have been. It's like every single live that I've been on. Either someone's having a storm, about to get a storm. John and Joanna were late last night because they were down and plugging stuff out of their garage because there was a storm about to hit. Matthew, you had storms yesterday.
Yeah.
Pop ride with the poop.
Insane.
That was one of the best running gags throughout the entire series. I love that. I'm like, that manure car is going to come back into play sometime.
It'd be kind of funny if it was a scented pop.
Ew! There is
a
collectible of that, which actually has the back end of the manure truck and then the car filled with manure and Biff hanging out sideways. I forget where I saw it. But I'm like, did someone actually buy that with a car full of poo?
I would. If they made a pop of that, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Are you interested in buying any of the pops now?
I'll say Doc Brown was my favorite character. I wouldn't mind getting the OG version of him. But other than that, not really. Yeah, that one.
I don't know which version of him is my favorite. I love the clock tower.
Yeah, the clock tower's cool.
The clock tower.
That is a sore subject with me. Thank you, Pop Cure, for not honoring all my orders.
Hey, okay, so I gotta, and we'll get back to the movie, but this is Back to the Future. So why, do either one of you two guys know why there's two different numbered sets of the Marty and the Doc? There's 49 and 50, and then it's 61 and 62 or something?
Probably because I think they re-released the OG ones.
Yeah, the re-releases are the 49 and 50.
That's odd. I'm not sure.
Well, Funko is not very good at keeping up with their own numbers. If you look at I forget which ones it is. Sylvester is Batman and Taz is Flash from the DC line, Looney Tune.
Yeah.
They have the same number on them. And Llama J. So both of those in the same set are numbered 844.
Huh.
So Funko's not good with their numbers.
No, not at all.
Caitlyn, you watched Titanic. Did you notice anybody in the first movie that you might have seen in Titanic?
No.
Billy Zane, who plays Cal, the bad guy in Titanic, is one of Biff's buddies.
I didn't pay any attention to those three. I just saw that there was three of them. I saw that they kept popping up no matter what timeline they were in. But other than that, I didn't pay much attention to them.
But the friends actually kind of are like the vacation movies. Like Biff and Marty stay the same, but the friends change.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. I heard one of the ZZ Top guys died today. Dusty.
Yep.
R.I.P. Mr. Miller. ZZ Top was in the third movie. Caitlyn, that's the band that was playing.
I know.
The beards.
I know ZZ Top. Thank you.
Well, that's good. We're just making sure. I wish I would have gotten those pops. My dad's always been a huge fan of ZZ Top, and I did not get those.
How much are they?
I think they're probably pretty reasonable, but as soon as someone passes away, then everybody tries to cash in on the death. So.
Yeah, you're right.
Should have bought them yesterday.
Yeah.
If you only had known.
Okay, so I'll start with Matthew, and Matthew, you can type it if you want. Why do you like Back to the Future so much?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Bobber?
Well, okay, go ahead.
I mean, for me, it's my childhood. The first, my first real memory of Back to the Future is going to see Part 2 in the movie theater. I was a young child, so I had a small bladder. I went to use the bathroom. I came back, and I walked back in on the scene where Marty's boss is like firing him on the big screen. And no matter what I do, I will always remember that moment. But it was just one of those movies that I watch, that I can watch, 3 times in a week and not get tired of it. I can watch all 3 of them, front to back, and do it daily, and it wouldn't bother me.
I agree with you.
This is a timeless classic that. Unfortunately, as we get into the new generation, those kind of movies are not gonna, they'll be few and far between now, in my opinion.
Hey, Christina Payne.
Hey, Christina.
Okay, Caitlyn, so overall, well, after watching all 3, what is your impression, and why do you like it or not like it?
I liked it. I mean, it was a really good, solid story. I'll be honest, usually I don't. One of the reasons I don't like movies is because they're so freaking long. And you add all that together, it's like, what? 4 hours, 6, 5, something like that. And it's like, and it was like, I'm going to dread this, but I honestly didn't. I honestly really enjoyed watching all 3 of them. I like the storyline. I do think I like the running gags throughout it all. Like where he's always bumping his head, knocking himself out, and then waking up to some version of his mother. And the manure trucks. I think I really enjoyed seeing all that. Will I watch it again? Yeah, I can see myself watching it again. Maybe even all the way through.
Wow.
Yeah, this one and too long fu. But that's it so far. But yeah, like I said, I love Doc Brown. Christopher Lloyd played that character perfectly. I don't think anyone else but him could. But, so, yeah, it was a solid thing. I will say, 2015 is the best one. I agree. I will say some of the reason why a lot of people probably aren't into it as much is because a lot of it in the future part takes place in the past and half that shit isn't even here.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my.
They should have put that way in the past. Way in the future or something.
I just want a hover conversion on my car. That's all I want for Atlanta traffic.
Well, for me, after the third one came out, what year? 89? 90?
Yeah.
So for me, for the next, I kept looking forward to 2015. Like, can we make this flying car thing happen? And then it was the whole thing when we got to 2015. I was like, okay, I just can't wait for Back to the Future Day. I just can't wait for Back to the Future Day. And it came and went, and it was like so uneventful. And
Yeah.
Well, I texted Brandy. I'm like, it's 2021, and I'm still having to tie my own damn shoes. That's the only thing I want from that.
come on, those Nikes are cool.
Yeah, those Nikes are awesome.
Yeah.
I would also like the jacket that dries you out right away too. I didn't understand the pockets wearing their pants inside out, but then again, I do remember when crisscross was big and people were wearing their pants backwards.
Yep. Weird fashion trend.
But now the biggest plot line is, how the hell did they fit 50 years of sports statistics into a book the size of a trade paperback?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a magnifying glass to read it all.
Now that that's passed, you know I mean, someone could actually make a Gray's Sports Almanac with the actual stuff in it, and it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's called Doodle.
Well, I know it's called Doodle, but you know what I mean. Like they could actually print the Grays with the actual stuff in it.
That thing's gonna be like this thick.
Hey, Teresa.
True.
It's not gonna be a trade paperback.
Teresa, no.
And that's without the dust cover.
And why did no one question Biff for having a book that had 1950 to you know, like I'm sorry if I saw someone with a futuristic book, what the hell are you doing with this? Calling
Yeah,
NASA.
he didn't show it to anybody, right?
Well, the
principal
got
took
it
it from him.
No, but what
He
the
had the
principal
dust
took
cover.
was the porn.
Yeah, but it had the dust
still
cover.
though, it had the cover on it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
I'm sorry if if I don't want to work tomorrow and see my coworker reading a almanac from the year 2089, I'm gonna, dude, where the fuck did you get this from? I want to read it too.
Well, don't you know? There's some guy that claims to be a time traveler and he's stuck here from like 50 years in the future or something.
Yeah. He lives in Memphis.
Yes, Teresa Knowles. She actually watched all three, and number 3 is her favorite.
I didn't like the ending. I will say that I didn't like the ending to 3. All that
when they
much.
destroy the DeLorean, or when Doc Brown shows up in the
that part.
Why?
I'm just going to figure out how the hell. Well, I mean, I kind of know how he did it, because if you read the comic books, it gives you more insight into the movies as well.
Same with the Power Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, you're back there in 1885, and you build a time traveling train.
Well,
yeah,
why didn't he just build one to be able to come home?
And he built it. What did it run off coal?
He ran off steam.
Yeah, steam.
Well, I mean, he had all the smarts to do it. He'd been through how many years of flying around and going back to back to the future, back to the past. He could go anywhere he wanted to get whatever parts he needed.
So then why send the note to Marty? Why not just fly back to, hey, Marty, I'm alive. See ya.
Well, he didn't know he was coming back at that point to the present, future, whatever you call it. And yes, Teresa, I'm all right, but I'm taking next month off. But
we're taking next month off.
Well, you're watching movies next month.
That's true. I have to watch the Power Rangers movies.
I'm watching movies that I love, that I've been watching all my life, and Brandy's watching something new.
True.
But yeah, I just didn't understand that part. I kind of wanted Doc and Clara to land in the DeLorean with them and just go into the present and like show her around. That's how I wanted the movie to end. I'm not saying the ending was bad. I'm just saying I was expecting something different. But the time traveling train, that should be a pop ride too.
Those kids creep me the fuck out even to this day.
Oh yeah, they were weird. And why were they still dressed like they were in the 1800s if they went to the future and everything and back again?
I don't know. That's a good question. All right, so here's my next question, and this is the question that every Back to the Future fan has probably been asked. If you had a time machine, would you go back to the past? Would you go into the future? Would you try and change something historically?
Which one of us first?
Whoever.
Go ahead, Caitlyn.
I don't want to take it to like a sad part, but my uncle died when I was 4, and no one really knows what happened. He died in in a 4-wheeler accident on a highway, country road. Obviously, there was no traffic cameras at the time, and even today, there's still not one on that road. No one really knows what happened, so I would go back to that point. I don't know if I would stop it. I would want to, but I honestly just want to know what happened. So that's what I would do.
Robert?
I would go back to the year 2004, and I would tell myself, don't you dare leave Florida. It would fuck up your life for the next 11 years. Don't you leave Florida, no matter what girl tells you to move, don't.
Yes, Teresa, I knew there was comics. I just haven't read them.
The comics are great. I have both. I have the two big collections, and then I have the Biff to the Future. All three are great reads.
I might look it up if I ever get past the stack of ones that I'm trying to get through now. But
Matthew, what about you?
I'm fine.
2018. I'm sorry, Christina. You know what I would want to do, honestly?
What? Go back to when we first met.
I think life and death happens for a reason. You know, I would want to go back and investigate the Bible.
No.
I want to see, like, I want to see the actual arc. I want to see, you know, these people that were in there, and our perception of these characters that are, you know, these people that are in the Bible. Do they look like what we think that they look like? You know, there's a lot of cartoonish stories that have been made, and they're all dressed in the tunics and everything else. I'd like to go back in some of those points of time and see. I'd love to find out what actually happened to the
Jaylee, those are all the. I have the 3 main books out. They're all the same company.
How are they?
They're all IDW, and the written graphics inside are amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brady, are you talking about wanting to go and witness the historical events, or just wanting to see if it matches up with what's been written? Because I can guarantee it's not.
I would never want to change people. It's not about changing people's beliefs. It's for, like, we have this picture of what the ark looked like. You know, everybody draws it pretty much the same, and there's a description of it in the Bible. I want to see what the actual ark looked like. I'm not saying I want to be standing there when the water hits and not run on the boat with them. I would definitely get on the ark with them, but I want to see, did the ark look like what they say that it looked like? You know, did Saul and Paul look the way that they said? You know, like, I'd like to see those types of things. I'm not just saying just the Bible, but some of, you know, like some of those major historical events. You know, go back.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
I just want to play with dinosaurs.
What?
I want to play with dinosaurs.
You want to play with dinosaurs?
I would want to see what dinosaurs looked like in person. That'd be kind of cool.
If I could go back, I would Noah grab 2 dinosaurs and put them on the ark too. Save the dinos.
Save the dino.
Jurassic Park, Caitlyn.
We watched that.
Okay, you saw dinosaurs.
They say dinosaurs have feathers now. They didn't have scales like a reptile.
Giant chickens. All of them were giant chickens.
Anyway.
Dan Does Great Works also did the Ghostbusters books. And why, Tristan? It's just about, like, I mean, haven't you ever been interested, like, what we have all these fanciful pictures of what Egypt was like with all the gold and everything and the things that they found in King Tut. What was it really like? I mean, did it smell like a giant room cesspool of BO? You know, where everybody really had? How in the hell did those people back then have the technology to build those pyramids? That's the things I would go back and check.
Yeah, I'm all for that. That'd be kind of fun.
Then we go back and check and see if aliens actually did it or not.
They did.
They did. Little green man.
Groot. You know, Groot's relatives came down.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know what else. I mean, would you want to talk to yourself, or I mean, well, Bobber does. He's gonna tell himself not to move out of Florida, but
Oh yeah, don't leave Florida. You're
would
gonna find your
not.
love for Disney World, and it's gonna be too late.
I would not want to talk to my past self at all. I think, my life isn't great, but it certainly wasn't bad, and everything kind of. I mean, there's definitely conversations I can think of with certain people that I wish I had handled differently and more assertive, but at the end of the day, that's just not me. So I'm not gonna change.
go back to 2010 and collect pops from the beginning. In all seriousness, I'll be there when my dad passed away, and just say bye. And at times, I wish I wasn't disabled, but all things happen for a reason.
Yeah, I would like to go back again to when my grandfather died, because he didn't allow me in the room with him because the cancer had made him look so weak. He didn't want me to see him. So in his last few days, I didn't, and I understand. Like, he wanted me to remember him as the strong guy he was. I get it. But it would have been nice to say goodbye. But,
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys could go back and meet a person, a historical figure, or celebrity that's passed away, who would you use the time machine to go back and?
Well,
I don't know.
I would go with Walt Disney just to kind of see what he was really like, and then also warn him about the dark periods of his company.
Hello, John.
Like you will feel compelled to do straight to video sequels of your best movies. Don't do it. Just stick to the originals. Put it somewhere in your clause or in your will. Don't do friggin' sequels of my movies, and no live action remakes.
Michael Jackson.
Matthew says Michael Jackson. You'd go back and meet Michael Jackson. That's a good one.
Honestly, I'm thinking Lucille Ball. I honestly think she would be a really interesting person to have a conversation with. So,
I'm trying to think.
And John, just so you know, 3 was my favorite.
Yeah, 3 was her favorite.
Me, and didn't Marissa say that's her favorite too, or just that she liked it?
Yeah. And you can't be a Back to the Future fan and not like all 3 movies. It's just what order that you like them in. And for me, it was I love the futuristic stuff. Like Jetsons was like my favorite cartoon when I was a kid, or one of them. And
see, I like the Flintstones. I like the past stuff more than the future.
Polar opposites. I liked like the Jaws that came out and chomped down on him that was holographic. And I mean we've come to that point in life now. I mean they did the holographic Michael Jackson. They've done the holographic Tupac concerts where it looks like they're walking around and their mouths move to everything. I mean it's kind of creepy, but at the same point it's really cool.
Etta James, Marilyn Monroe, and Rosa Parks for Teresa. So she's going to just meet all of her past idols, apparently.
Shark still looks fake.
Well, it was still in the 80s.
I would go back and talk to Biggie just to find out who shot him. That way I can come back to the president and get that fucker arrested.
Okay, here's one. Would you go back to Dallas on the day of and find out if there's more than one shooter at JFK?
I would do all that stuff. I would be like the time traveling national treasure. I would take my DeLorean and I would hunt down all the historical stuff and just be like, look, no, there was 2 people there. His name was John. His name was Steve. You all got one. You didn't get the other one. He lives over here now. He'll be home in 5 minutes.
I would go back and set my future self up with I would buy myself a Shelby Cobra, an original one, and have it put in like a storage thing and pay off like the storage fees until it came time for me to be born, and then have it like delivered to the house. I would buy Apple stock at the very start, and so that it just splits and splits and splits and splits by the time
I would be like the guy from Blast from the Past. I'd have a little cigar box full of like 30,000 shares of each company. Just leave a note. Hey, dude, it's all buried right here. It's all sealed perfectly. Dig that some bitch up. Sorry, Jeff Bezos. I'm the richest man in the world now. Now I'm going to Mars. I ain't going to no freaking moon. And none of y'all like Doctor Who. Come on. He went back and met all. Sorry, to eat my bear. No.
No.
Honestly, I
I
didn't
think-
know that. I would actually watch the episode of Doctor Who where he goes to meet Van Gogh. Van Gogh was messed up. I found that out.
Doctor Who is probably like Harry Potter for me. I would love it if I ever sat down and decided to watch it. Trouble is getting me to sit down and watch something.
See, but Doctor Who did it in a telephone booth. They did it in style in a DeLorean.
DeLorean.
I'd rather be in a DeLorean than a phone booth or a TARDIS.
Would you rather be in a phone booth or in the steam engine train?
Steam engine train.
Train. I love trains.
And John, Bill and Ted too. That's another one. I mean, they did it in a phone booth, but that was way cooler too. They were all hanging out of it.
But see, but that was a legit phone booth. That wasn't just like a weird phone booth with like
TARDIS?
random stuff on it.
It's true. Well, I had bubble gum stuff on it.
Yeah, phone is bigger on the inside. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
John said, I'm surprised they haven't tried to recast and do a remake of it. I think that probably hardcore fans would revolt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how you could ever replace Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd.
There's no way on earth. Bob Gale, the minute he starts to have a downward spiral, is the day he goes on all the ventilators in the world. Don't unplug it. I'm gonna be here forever. He will revolt that. Nope, I ain't dying. I might be a vegetable, but
San Dimas High School football rules.
maybe do some with a grown up. God no, Jules and Verne were weird. I mean, honestly, if anything, I would love to see.
Oh, those are the kids.
Yeah.
I want to see them do it from Biff's perspective.
I hated Biff. I wouldn't want to watch that.
No, because Biff to the Future comics, it's basically about the time where he took the DeLorean from the future and went back to the past. It's all of his adventures in the past leading up to Back to the Future, which is actually a really cool, fun read. You learn a lot about Biff and the way he built his empire and stuff like that.
Now, can you still find these comics, or is it like something I'm going to have to pay a fortune for?
No, I bought the compendiums for maybe $20 on Amazon, and I actually have both sets of the Biff to the Future comics. I mean, I didn't pay much for them. You can find them on eBay or Amazon real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Matthew asked, which celeb in their prime would you go back in time to meet that's still alive today?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is past his prime?
Yeah.
He's starting to get gray and a little grizzled. Back when he was like Van Wilder and when he was in Blade 3. Yeah,
okay,
baby.
you got a point.
Hang on, because I actually have my 3 right here. Let me move stuff out of the way.
Try trade paperback, Brandy. All right, thanks, Juliana.
Do you have a local comic shop near you?
I found a little one.
You might be able, if you order it through them, sometimes you can get them cheaper. Not always, but sometimes.
But are they still in print, or is it something that I would have to?
No, they back order it.
This is the Biff to the Future.
Cool.
And then,
why does that not surprise me, Teresa Newell? What don't you have? I am so jealous. I just want to go shopping at Teresa's house.
then you got this one.
She does seem to have like an
Volume
endless
2.
supply of everything.
Oh, those are like, how many? Is it all the comics bound in one? I forget what you guys call those.
Yeah, these two are Collections 1 and 2. So this one here has 11 stories. It's issues 1 through 12. And this one is issues 13 through 25.
Ooh.
And then, like I said, this is the Biff to the Future. There's 6 comics of these. But the Biff ones, I got the single book runs, but I got both variant covers.
I still have no clue of what makes value. I just like last night I was just like looking at all the covers of the stuff that Teresa sent me, and I'm just like I get comics for what the cover looks like, not for necessarily value.
Yeah, pretty
Come
much.
on over.
Actually, now that we're talking about these, I might go back through and read them again. I hadn't read them since last year. But they're each one has about 11 stories. They're quick reads, and you're gonna find yourself like halfway through, like, oh shit, I want to hold on to this. I don't want to just finish it.
Right.
It depends on how good something is to you. Sometimes it takes me like 15 minutes to read a freaking comic book. Sometimes it takes me like 3. Just depends on how interested I am in it. So I probably read those.
Don't buy the single issues anymore, folks. Just go buy the trade paperbacks.
That's honestly the
honest.
idea.
I tend to agree with her because I spent more money on single issues. I could have just bought a trade.
If you're wanting to trade, like if you want to collect like Matthew does, where he just buys the covers that he likes, then go with the singles. If you like them for the story, go for the paperbacks, which is something I should be doing. But either way is wrong.
You taught me something new because I didn't know that.
But as for the person that's still alive that I would meet in their prime, probably Cher. I'm not saying Cher is like going too far downhill, but she is like what, in her 70s now or something. Yeah, so I've always been in love with that woman.
So in their prime and alive, I would want to meet Derek Jeter. He's a fantastic athlete, and he's also a ladies' man. Get some tips from him on getting Jessica Alba and Jessica Biel, and I just got the first something.
I really need to read this story. Everyone keeps talking about it, and most of the time it's Julian, but it seems very interesting.
Bring on Leo. There you go, Christina Payne.
Oh yeah.
I'd still want to go back and meet William Zabka too. Back when he was Johnny. I mean, I hated the character, but I thought he was hot.
He will always be Johnny.
15 lines.
Hey,
we all have different names. Matthew's got both Jennifer's boyfriends. He likes both of the Jennifers, and Bobbert's going back to the past to win the lotto. So I'm Biff Tanlines instead of Biff Tannen. I'm Biff Tanlines.
And I just saw it, so hashtag seen it. I took the never out.
Did you guys have any of the stuff like the toys when they first came out? Like we had the Micro Machines when Back to the Future 2 came out.
See, unfortunately, as a kid, my parents deprived me of like awesome toys, which is why I'm such a collector that I am now. I'm just kidding. I mean,
you lost me at Yankees.
I was holding out for a hoverboard. That never came. But
like an actual hoverboard or like a collectible?
No, I was holding out for an actual hoverboard. I was a kid. I thought Mattel was going to come out with one. So I was waited. I'm still waiting.
Have you seen the ones that they've done with it that are like the magnets where they have like the half pipe? I think Tony Hawk actually rode one, and it does hover a few inches, but you have to. It's not like it's you can't just go anywhere.
Yeah.
No. They would have to magnetize the ground.
I feel betrayed now. Damn. I feel hurt. I want a hoverboard.
I want a hoverboard so bad.
If what'll be funny is that a company does come out with a hoverboard and it's like Hasbro.
See, but what's funny is like they had the Talk Boy in Home Alone 2. Yeah, they mass produced that sumbitch. You got the hoverboard, nothing.
What movie is Turbo Man from? I saw Funko's making one. I know that's from. Okay, I'm like I know it's from a movie, but I don't know.
Oh, I have that series too. Again, I just had a time. Love the twisted covers they have for Ice Cream Man, though.
Yeah, yeah. That's one. That's one. Once I can get through these next couple of weeks and months, I'm gonna dive into Ice Cream Man. That one was pretty good.
Is it like a horror one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
I can read horror and psychological horror. I can't watch it, but I'm fine with reading it.
No,
In fact,
if you ever
most of the time I'm like grinning while I'm reading it, which is weird, but it's
if you ever choose a horror movie that we have to watch,
Saw.
well, I've seen Saw, but I haven't seen it in a really long time. But we are going to watch it at the same time live, so you can see what happens to me when I watch horror movies.
Well, I kind of know what I want to do for October, and it's not a horror-ish movie. But I'll talk to you later
Hocus
about
Pocus.
that. Now, I watched Hocus Pocus last year for the first time because the McDorks told me to. And I do love it. I'm going to watch it again this year.
Okay, so you have to admit, now that we've gotten you watching some of the movies, isn't it a whole lot more fun that you can participate in the conversations?
Yeah, but it's also fun to say hashtag never seen it and watch everyone's reactions to it. I get joys from both sides of it.
Okay, so Bobbert, what was your favorite part of part 1?
Let me think.
Is that gonna be a question for all of us now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. For me, it is the beginning. It's Marty, grabbing a skateboard, running out the door, and just jumping on the back of that Jeep, like he's done it every day of his life.
He probably did. That's the funny
I mean, to be fair, as a kid, I grew up with that song on my Discman, just rollerblading around town. So I felt the Marty vibe at that point.
My favorite part of part 1, because I'm obsessed with lightning too, is I love the complications of trying to get him home with Doc Brown having to ride down the power cord because the tree limb fell and getting shocked, and Marty can't start the DeLorean and he bangs his head against the steering wheel and it starts. I don't know why that part. I just love that part, and then it ends with the flaming tire marks. Would we lose Matthew?
I think he backed out for a bit.
Yeah, because his mic's muted. But also my favorite running gag through them is through the first two is the Libyans. They just always seem to find them.
The Libyans. You don't even hear about that anymore. Like that was just like, I mean, like if they remade it, I mean, what are they going to do now? Like pick an enemy.
Oh, he's getting his Back to the Future books. Trying to think what my favorite one was from the first. Probably, honestly, like seeing him come back into the present and his entire life has changed for the better, and just seeing how everything's kind of fell into place and how Biff kind of had an entirely different personality for some reason. But I don't know. It was a nice conclusion to the first part.
It wasn't all for the better though, because he came back and his girl went from Claudia Wells to Elizabeth Shue. I'm just saying that's not a downgrade.
But have you seen Claudia Wells now? Did not age well. Elizabeth Shue aged well.
I'm just saying. Just for that moment of time. I mean, Marty could have dumped her and gone on to Jennifer number 2. Who cares? But I'm just saying. She was hot back then.
Yeah, but so was Elizabeth Shue, especially in like Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah. All right, fine. I retried my previous statement. I forgot about that movie.
All right, part 2.
Wait, before we go on, can I ask one question that came to me when I'm thinking about part 1? When they first did the time travel, the DeLorean came back and it's covered in ice because of the temperature. Why didn't that stay a thing throughout the rest of it? Because you don't really see the ice covering the DeLorean anymore after that.
Because in
Is it just for budget?
When Doc goes to the future, he fixes all that.
Oh, okay.
So
All right, I'll buy that.
They have the Mr. Fusion, and it runs off. He can put garbage in it, soda, all that kind of stuff. He doesn't need the plutonium anymore. So yeah, he upgraded everything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, continue, Brandy.
Okay, so part 2. What favorite part of part 2?
Matthew said his favorite was in the first part was when it first hits 88 miles per hour.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
That quote.
My favorite is towards the end when Marty goes back to the past and he's crawling by Lorraine's car, and there's something about Marty and Lorraine, Marty number 1 and Lorraine were talking in the car, and he's something about I don't know, I forgot what it was, but there's a line, the one liner he says, yeah, I want that in writing. Me too, kid.
Caitlyn?
My favorite in 2 is probably when they're on top of the roof and Marty jumps off and he's like, is he on the hood of the DeLorean?
Yeah.
The DeLorean comes up and knocks Biff in the head and knocks him out. I don't know. I just think that's the biggest FU moment in the entire thing.
I hated alternate 85 Biff. I mean, I just hated that guy.
Well, yeah, he's a murderous, woman-beating piece of shit. So yeah,
he was modeled after Donald Trump. What's not to hate?
Exactly.
And they even said as much. So I mean,
Yeah.
They just needed to put him in the Oval Office.
oh,
So, Matthew, got stuff to show off?
Oh well.
Okay. Part 2, favorite part, the moment that they land in 2015 until the moment they leave. The 2015 portion of that movie is my favorite section of that whole movie.
I just like the fact that they had a case of Perrier in the window at the vintage shop.
I love that they had the game in the video game, and Elijah Wood. There's so many cameos, but Elijah Wood. Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen all the Lord of the Rings movies.
Okay, did you notice that Elijah Wood was the kid playing the video game?
Yeah.
Did you notice that Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers was the guy that got Marty fired?
I know Red Hot Chili Peppers is a band. I don't know them that well.
Flea's the one that always plays the guitar naked or in his underwear.
Oh, okay. But no, still, I didn't know.
The whole scene leading up to Biff's arrest. You talk about Griff with the hoverboard and then they fly into the window?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a good one too. Matthew, what's your favorite part of 2? Oh yeah, you said that, didn't you? When his car hits 88 miles. No, that was number 1. What's your favorite part of 2? Marty's mom.
She is hot in that one.
It is a big improvement.
It was a doubly big improvement.
How much money can buy?
If only they were real.
Do you want these back? Don't cut off my kids. I didn't like that Lorraine to become a raging alcoholic though.
See that probably started because she was so in love with Calvin Klein that when it didn't work, it sent her into a spiral that she has yet to recover from.
That's true. How did they get away with that, by the way, having pretty much an incestuous kiss on such a big movie? That's what I was wondering.
Now, the real question that Family Guy took care of in cartoon form, how did they not notice that Calvin Klein looked exactly like their son Marty? Why was there no question like, Lorraine, what the hell were you doing?
Oh, like when he goes back to the future, like,
yeah,
you look like You look like Calvin Klein.
Yeah. Nobody recognizes that.
That's a good point. I never thought about that.
Like,
Yeah.
What happened? Like, okay, so they kind of explained, but they didn't really ever jump into it. The paradoxes, like what happens if you run into yourself, or it was something like that. It would like cause an implosion or something, like the world would end. Like if Marty touched Marty.
Well, they had the thing where the two Jennifers saw each other and both of them like knocked each other out.
yeah.
Yeah, they passed out. Which
They were passed out for a while.
She was passed out through the entire rest of the movie and on to the third.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the rest of the movie was literally the same night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm old.
And also, Western Union, you have a letter in your possession for 75 years. You don't think to question it?
I would have been opening that damn thing up.
So, sir, you're telling me you want me to drop this letter off 75 years from now in a place that may not exist? Yeah, I'm opening that letter up and I'm calling the proper authorities on you.
Like, well, I don't know what a highway is, so how do I know what address this is?
What the hell's a Marty?
Also Marty.
What the hell?
But now do we need the best part of the third movie?
Yeah, best part of the third movie.
For me, honestly, it's that entire scene where they're racing to try to get the DeLorean up to 88 miles an hour on the train track with the train pushing it. I don't know why. I was like freaking excited during that entire scene. It didn't end the way I wanted to, like I said earlier, but I still really liked it.
I'm glad Doc found his happiness, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying they shouldn't have been together. I'm just saying I wish Claire had gone back to the future with him in the DeLorean instead of just flying off in a hoverboard.
That's not what I was wishing. Part of me was hoping that Doc would say, "You know what, Clara, forget you. I'm going back with Marty." They go off into the sunset, and the train goes into the ravine, still named Clayton Ravine.
Oh man!
But I'm also morbid like that. But no, my favorite part of that movie is when Marty's eating the dinner with Seamus, and he's just spitting out the buckshot.
The buckshot, yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
I like what the pie pan said frisbee on it.
Far out.
You know that he actually hurt himself pretty badly when they did the dragging him behind the horse part.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And that was one of he thought that when that happened is why when he started getting the twitch of his finger, he thought it was from the injury of Back to the Future 3, but was actually the early onset part of his Parkinson's. What's your name, Clint? Clint Eastwood. Seamus McFly.
What kind of name is that?
I also like the scene where they give him that gun to test out and he hits every target and he's like, I learned it at 7-Eleven. That was cute.
No, the best line of the whole movie is in the bar towards the beginning of the movie where Marty meets Mad Dog for the first time and they're shooting at his feet. And then this is a moment where he looks at those three guys at the table and he's like, "Better run, squirrel."
Why don't you make like a tree?
Get out of here. Leave. You sound like an idiot when you say it wrong.
I also wanted a futuristic Pepsi bottle. I wish they started making pops like that. Like the packaging is ridiculous, but then I thought about it. It's like having double-walled insulation cups that we have now. If they actually made pop like that, it would stay colder longer.
Would you like a rehydration pizza from Pizza Hut?
Hell
I wouldn't need to rehydrate it. I just saw the whole thing in my mouth.
I feel like that would be as soggy as all hell, but whatever.
Well, it steams and bakes it at the same time. I mean, whatever.
Of course.
That's pretty cool. You walk in with like something this big, how much like land space we could. I mean, Pizza Huts wouldn't. I mean, they wouldn't have to. Any pizza place that could do that would have to take up like a quarter of the room that they do now.
Yep.
That's true.
No more cardboard. Just toss it in a resealable bag.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You never said what your favorite of the third one was, Brandy. She has to think.
I think what tied it all together for me was because the clock tower is such a central figure of all three movies, is when they got the picture taken in front of the clock tower before the clock had been put into place. I don't know why that picture that was taken of them was like so poignant to me.
It made sense, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Chet. Hey, Ezra. Hey, Sharon. Everyone just came in all at once.
Hi, everybody.
Night, Nadia.
Good night, Nadia.
Yeah, it seemed like there would be a bigger scene with the clock tower because they ended it. That was one of the cliffhangers they ended it on when they had the little. Like, I know this is probably like from when you're rewatching it or whatever, but it showed that, and I thought there was going to be like where they constructed the clock tower in the first place or something. But
well, basically
really cool.
That's what the 1885 one was. I mean, they were building it and they were getting ready to put the clock face in place, and then 1955 is when it gets struck by lightning, and then. But what I didn't understand is why no one took an initiative in 30 years after it gets struck by lightning to fix it.
Hey, when you live in a small town,
they'll get around to it.
When you live in a small town, there's going to be decapitated things all over. In fact, in the town where I went to high school, Tuckerman, Arkansas, you go through the back roads of that place, and it's just empty building after empty building after empty building that used to be like thriving, storefronts, and nothing's there now. They haven't destroyed it. They haven't refurbished it. It's still just there.
Yep. So,
if you live in a small town, you're going to have at least one point in the town that's like that. Like, well, this went out of business and we're just going to leave it here now. Or this got hurt by the tornado, so we're just going to leave it here now.
Yep.
Mall at Turtle Creek in Jonesboro, Arkansas right now. But
rest in peace, Hot Topic.
Yep.
If you guys could had all the money in the world, would you buy a DeLorean and trick it out to look like a time machine?
I can think of better ways to do
it. If I had all the money in the world, I would own the screen used one from Back to the Future 3 with the white wall tires on it.
Oh, the one that's in that museum in LA?
Yeah, I'd buy it from them.
Let's switch this to what car from a famous movie or show would you buy with all the money in the world?
The Mystery Machine.
Okay. Brandy.
The DeLorean.
Still the DeLorean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely buy the DeLorean.
Matthew? You might be surprised at my answer.
I would get a train that hovered.
DeLorean or Ghostbusters? Ghostbusters is another classic that I have not seen.
Good night, Sharon.
Night, Sharon.
I would have said the General Lee, but I'm pretty certain in this day and age, I would get
you would get shot at.
me.
You would get shot at. I would honestly want the Munsters mobile, like the hearse from the Munsters show.
That'd be awesome.
I would freaking love that. I would drive it everywhere.
Or the Beverly Hillbillies.
I wouldn't want to go that retro.
I would go that retro.
I mean, I would ride in it, but I don't know if I would like to drive a car like that.
I would pick someone up for a date. Yeah, you're sitting in Grandma's seat.
Sitting in Granny's rocking chair in the back.
You can sit in the rocking chair.
I'd love to have Kit as well.
Kit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy that lives around here somewhere that has one that has the lights on it that goes back and forth. So he was in Kroger and the light was just going. And then when you get closer, it would go. I was like, that is so cool. He had the grippy, the funky grip for the steering wheel and everything in there.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having the Batmobile
I was
from
gonna say
Adam West
I
either.
thought you were gonna say Batmobile.
I mean, I've actually sat in a replica of the Batmobile before, but
Which Batmobile?
the Adam West one. But I don't know if I'd want. I feel like that would bring too much attention. While the Munsters car, you wouldn't want to mess with that car. You would want to ogle it, but you wouldn't want to mess with it.
Jay Lee
'Cause
says
it hurts.
Goliath if it doesn't try and kill me. I'd
It
want the
does go
Millennium
with
Falcon
Bumblebee,
too.
Well, if we're talking like aircrafts, Wonder Woman's jet, but
Yeah.
If we're talking aircraft, I want a twin jet. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
it just depends on whether you want to collect the paperbacks or the singles.
No, but those covers, those 12 covers for that 6-book run are awesome.
I imagine. The first ones from the Power Rangers series are really cool, and then they kind of went downhill.
I wonder why you like that one. Marty's mom is hot.
Well, she is.
Yeah. Ooh. Yep.
No, that's cool.
My uncle built a 66 Batmobile for a raffle at which Kroger. I would have driven there and tried to get it. I would have said, like, how many for a ticket?
That's an iconic shot, too, in that movie. The marriage, the wedding photo of Biff and Lorraine.
Yeah. Where she's, like, completely out of it. That one, he looks like Trump.
The sad part is, I would honestly say I would probably go to that casino if I was a living.
Oh, hell yeah. I totally would have. Yep. Somebody shoots Biff.
Oh. Spoiler alert!
I didn't say who. I just said somebody.
It's like, who shot JR? Who shot Biff?
Yeah, I can guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to backtrack now and buy those individual covers now.
Now that you've seen them.
There goes all my money. Yeah.
It was bulletproof too? Who is your uncle? Kaylee? Can we talk for a minute about how Doc Brown's bulletproof vest looked ridiculous? Those gigantic, like, golf ball size bullets or whatever.
Yeah.
You could be a citizen. Every time I see that, it makes me think of Starship Troopers. Citizenship is guaranteed. Never seen it, right?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, those cover arts are just like amazing.
The trouble is finding a comic book that the art on the inside matches the outside perfectly.
I don't care about the inside so much as the outside. If you're going to
Well,
display it, that's one thing. If you're going to read it, that's another.
That's true.
But with the Back to the Future stuff, no, the inside matches the outside. I can show you some inside. Hang on.
Oh, okay, Jaylee.
Jurassic Biff.
Oh, yeah, in a bulletproof. Oh, he's talking about going to the casino. Yeah, in a bulletproof. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Matthew has all the Transformers and Back to the Future crossovers as well.
Yeah, I have to find the last two because that was caught up in my comic book stuff that I'm not buying anymore. So, if anybody wants to send me the last two, that would be awesome.
I have
or
the
gigawatt.
Gigawatt, in my opinion.
1.21 gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts. The only thing that could do that is lightning, and lightning. Hey, you just knocked my drink over. Silly four-legged animal.
only thing that can do that is lightning. Just so happens some woman sent me a thing that said that the watchtower is gonna get hit by lightning tonight. Hi, Fenway.
Yeah, they're talking to you.
Hi, Fenway.
At least you can do is acknowledge that they're there. Okay, wait, hang on. Let me turn you around a little more. Okay, look. Nope.
Oh.
Mm.
Are those still Biff to the Future, or is that Back to the Future?
Oh, it's back. So, what is your guys' favorite character? I said mine is Doc Brown. Obviously, Marty's is Lorraine from the second movie. It's like I just asked them what their input on life is.
Well, I'm thinking. I mean, it's my favorite character. Mayor Goldie Wilson.
I was considering that one as well.
Okay.
Mayor.
Yep. What's going on?
Okay. Big Bips!
Hey,
Did you finally
Christina.
make it back on your channel?
Yeah, we left when you were in La La Land somehow.
Well, we ran the giveaway for you, and I won.
Yes, and Robert won.
I choose Danger
Again.
Mask.
We were thinking about sending help to you somehow.
Sassy.
Sassy.
kicked me out.
I
Blame
should have
Sassy.
warned you. I should have warned you about her, Christina. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did several months of her as co-host on top. I should have warned you.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I hated Young Marty.
Oh my
I
god,
love-
yes.
Oh, I
I
hated
think
Young
you took his
Marty.
wallet guy too. Yes. Well then fine. Mine is the Asian friend from Pat to the Future too. Unless you got power.
You idiot! I don't have power.
And just the way he said it, like his eyes were just like he was ready for his moment there. Like,
But why is I mean, with all the hoverboards that are around, like, why does Marty have to pick the pink one? Like, I mean, I know he was on the run and he just grabbed one, and it turned out to be the same thing, like in 1955 when he pulled the fruit crate or whatever off the top of the one kid's and turned it into a skateboard. And
I mean, I didn't see a lot. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of other options around.
Yeah.
Grab where you could. But
True.
but it's perfect timing. Is kismet that a Jeep just came descending from the sky with a cord ready to go for him.
Yeah, it's crazy how that stuff happens.
That's an awesome game. It's the Telltale game. People have used that game to create like a fourth movie, and like I'll watch that gameplay for like hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, so what is it like a choose your own adventure kind of a thing game,
Yeah.
or what?
No.
No.
Kinda, ish.
I've never had a PlayStation, so I've only ever had Nintendo.
Really?
Did you guys see that TikTok of some guy really wanting the PS5 and his girlfriend or wife or whatever took a PS2 and a PS3 and taped it together.
Yep.
Surprised.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
You okay now?
Is it thundering or something, or is she just wanting attention?
No, it's not supposed to storm until like 2.
So, attention.
She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just hanging out. It's Back to the Future night. I'm excited. I think if I ever get another dog, it's going to definitely have to be a Back to the Future name. Whoa!
You're going to name the dog Einstein?
Vern. It's okay, Copernicus.
I'm going to name my next dog Matthew.
I've seen the photo.
Yeah.
But not a natural person doing it.
Oh, my thing, yeah. Can we talk? Was there a point to Einstein other than him being the guinea pig for the first run of the DeLorean?
He was the Robin to Doc's Batman.
Batman.
Marty was just kind of like Plastic Man.
And
Or Captain
Copernicus.
Ketchup, you know. He was the condiment king.
He didn't have a dog in the second one, so there's only Copernicus and Einstein, right?
No. Oh, man.
Einstein went with him into the future because he was in the suspended animation kennel.
Mm-hmm.
Then they brought everyone back to 1985, which is alternate 85.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, he was.
But he didn't have but there was. He's got Copernicus in part 3.
No, he has Copernicus in part 1. Einstein is his dog in 85. But they go back to 85 at the end of part 2, or to 55 in part 2. So Copernicus is his dog in 55.
55.
Einstein's a dog in 85.
And he didn't have a dog in 1885?
No. Because Einstein was still stuck in 1985.
Did you ever wonder why? Okay, so it starts in 1985. They go back to 1955, so that's 30 years. And then back to 1985, and they go ahead 30 years. Why they didn't just go to like a 1925 and they went all the way back to 1885?
The 20s would have been boring. Marty would have been doing the Charleston with his grandmother.
Charleston with his grandmother.
Probably. Why was Doc so excited to go into the future?
He was looking for women.
At the end of the part 1, he's so excited to go into the future. But then in part 2, he's like, my biggest dream is to visit the Old West. So, like, why didn't he just go to the Old West first?
Because he had to go. Because he had to go to the future to get his all-natural overhaul, and then also get the hover conversion done on the car.
True.
I suppose. No,
I would want to see how I turned out, and if like how my life changes before I would go back in the past.
I wouldn't mind retiring back in the 1800s. I would just make sure to bring enough comforts in the future to live out in the past.
Like, I'll need to bring a memory foam pillow and mattress.
No, I'm gonna need enough Pepto, enough Tylenol. I'm gonna need
all they have is sugar pills back in the 1800s.
I'm gonna need toilet paper that's more than just a leaf.
Oh, so Matthew's got a challenge. Okay, Caitlyn, can you tell us the timeline throughout the films without help?
What do you mean, like the years?
The whole timeline.
1985, and then they go back to 1955, and then they go back to 85, and then they go forward to 2015, and then back to 85, and then back to 55, and then back to 1895
Nope.
or 85.
Oh my god.
and then
No,
back
just
to 1985.
no, just technically the timeline is 85 to 1 minute in the future. Then Morty goes to 1955. Marty comes back to 1985. Doctor goes to 2015. Doc comes back to 1985. They go to
I was going
2015.
with the plot. I wasn't going with
Then
every
Biff
individual
goes.
person.
Then Biff goes back to 1955. Biff goes back to 2015. They all go to 1985. Then they go back to 1955, where Marty's stuck. Doc gets catapulted into 1885. Marty goes chasing him. Marty goes back to 1985. Then Doc comes to 85.
Yeah.
I wasn't going that in depth with it.
I went there.
I went there. I went there.
He's got the chart.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know there was actual charts.
Space-time continuum. That's cool. That would be a cool T-shirt. Kind of looks like
It honestly would, yeah. Cool poster.
Kind of look. Well, it looks like a heart on the right side,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and
It
then
kind of looks like a yin
a,
and a yang on the left. Like a big yin and a yang.
kind of like a boxing glove on the left side.
Heart attack. But I didn't do bad.
Yeah.
No, for only watching the movies once, that was pretty good actually.
Oh, by the way, do you want these DVDs back?
No, I have the Blu-ray set. Those are gifts.
I need to plug up my Blu-ray again. I was trying with the DVD player, and I got my mom's old DVD player to see if it would work. But now I know what stupid ass thing I was doing, so now I can get the Blu-ray player back and hook it up. So it still had the disc in it from what I was watching at the old house. I hadn't even put anything into that thing since I moved here.
Okay, not based on value, but how they look. What's your favorite Back to the Future pop?
I'm looking them up.
That's a tough one.
Based purely on looks.
I like that one. I would still stick with Marty on the hoverboard, just because it's got the hoverboard.
Well, I was gonna say that one too, but I'm not opening that one up. If I sell every other pop in my collection, that Marty with hoverboard will be buried with me.
Oh, I agree. I love the other one, the newer one that they did where he's holding the hoverboard as well.
Yeah, I miss out on all those because most of those are pop T-shirt combos, and I don't do those. But at some point, I'll catch back up on all the exclusives. Yeah, I'm too fat to wear that shirt. That's why I don't buy them. If Funko would throw a few more X's on their shirts, I'd buy them. But like stopping at 2X, that don't help me.
Sad part is I don't even know what I did with the shirt, but I still have the pop. Of course.
I would just want the pop. I mean, I'll find it at some point, but
Yeah, I think I like this dark brown better than the OG.
yes,
with
with a little Einstein.
Yeah,
I love that one.
I think I like this one. The DeLorean looks cool too. I wish they would have found a way to make it so that one of the gold wings is up. I'm still in the box, but I think that would have helped. But whatever.
I'm still hoping for the Back to the Future 3 train time machine.
That would be cool.
I mean, they have the mold from the Hogwarts train. Just use that. Fits up a little bit.
Put Doc in the old timey outfit in it.
Either that, or just put Clara with it.
Yeah.
Kind of
I'd
sell
buy
it
either
that way because people don't have Clara. This if that's the only way you can get Clara. You sell a $30 pop right out of it.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Hey, empty.
Hi, Empty.
Hey, Empty.
So who did end up winning BK Phipps giveaway?
Yeah, who won?
I'll rewatch it after this. Tonight. I saw it.
This is so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty badass.
That's amazing.
That is creativity. Oh, so Eric won. Okay.
That's so
That's
cool.
awesome. I thought he was
Well,
saying
Eric
hi to
won.
Eric for a second. I was like, where the hell is Eric?
Matthew, did you keep that? Like, do you still have it somewhere, or did you toss it?
Me personally, I wouldn't have taken it off. I would have
Like,
just left
this is
it.
my new look.
This is the way it's gonna look. Either that or change it up like once a month or so. Okay, DeLorean this month. Next month there's gonna be Brian's Skyline from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Next
Then
month
we'll go
is the Mystery Machine. I would totally do that. Who got an email?
I tossed it because it was getting damaged. Oh, that's a bummer.
The story of every good Halloween costume ever.
Pretty much.
Either your parents get rid of it for you, or you wear it so much, or it just sits there enough that you're just like, well, this is trash now. Meanwhile, I went trick-or-treating once in my entire childhood.
You only went trick-or-treating once? Why?
I wasn't really allowed to most of the time, and half the time I didn't really want to either. And
it's free candy.
Well, here's the thing. The only reason I went that year is because I already had a costume. November 1st that year was career day. And so we all had to come to school in a costume, like what we wanted our future career to be. And my mom worked at a hospital, so she got me like a little bitty actual doctor lab coat and a real stethoscope that she borrowed from one of her nurse friends. And I wore that to trick-or-treating and to school the next day.
So she went as Dr. Frankenfooter. All right.
No, she was just the chauffeur.
I can't believe that. I loved trick-or-treating when I was a kid. It was like the greatest thing ever.
Hell yeah. Free candy?
Free candy.
I was too much of a wuss as a kid. I hated Halloween when I was a kid. When I got older, I wanted to get into it, but then I felt like I was too old. Even though my best friend kept going trick-or-treating, but she had younger siblings that she had the excuse for, but I did not have that privilege. I don't know what Marty DMC means.
Power of
Marty
Love.
is Marty McFly. DMC is DeLorean Motor Company.
I know that. I'm not what the Power of Love and or
Power of Love is the theme from the first movie. Double Back is the one from the second movie or the third movie. Sorry.
I wasn't honestly paying that much attention to the music.
Power of Love.
Who wins?
Apparently you.
Sweet.
I would hit all the houses early in the afternoon and go home, change to a costume that you couldn't tell it was me, and hit them again.
Snuggle with the kids or yeah. You were snuggling with someone. It wasn't the kids. There's nothing wrong with that.
You couldn't have your phone on while you're snuggling.
Yeah,
yeah, she listens to everybody in chats while she's in the shower, but not when she's snuggling the kids.
Nah.
Also when she's eating cereal in bed. She's done that before too.
Oh my.
You gotta have boundaries though. Apparently her boundaries are snuggle time with the kids is no YouTube.
Yeah, she's gotta pay attention to the children.
Hey, you gotta do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yep. or else they grow up to collect Funko Pops and other toys.
Their life is ruined forever. You're completely putting them on a path to being broke all the time.
All right, Juliana, have your kids seen Back to the Future?
Did you see
No.
that thing she posted on her living room? She's got the hoverboard and the two
Mhm.
pops above the
Yeah.
poster. So they better have seen it.
About that.
She was in the shower when she was talking to us before. Of course.
Oh, dude, that's a hard one. Why'd you have to throw those last two in there?
2.
I mean, considering if I had the money in the world, I would buy the one with the white wall tires. So I'm gonna go white walls.
And the phone's ringing now. I would go with Mark too. It would be fun to fly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My nephew and I have watched part 1. He hasn't watched part 2 or part 3 yet.
Did he like it?
Loved it.
Of course he did.
But the next one I want to show him is Goonies.
They never say die.
What? Don't show him that?
Of course, they've watched Ghostbusters too. So Juliana's kids are doing better than me when it comes to
You didn't
movies.
see Ghostbusters either?
No,
What?
I haven't seen
Okay.
any of the Ghostbusters.
I don't know. Really?
Really. That shouldn't surprise you anymore.
It does, but it doesn't, because then I just keep, like, there's certain, like, just classic movies that... Oh, Matthew.
The Goonies was pretty good. The Goonies was pretty good. I don't know if I'd watch it again, but it was pretty good. Okay, Brandy's dying on us.
I'm so stupidly tired, and just drained. Work is crazy right now.
I have that same issue, Matthew. I own stuff that I've never watched. I just haven't done it. I bought it in the wanting to watch it, but I never did. I have the last 3 Scooby-Doo movies, and I have not watched them.
Jaylee, not even real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, or even Filmation Ghostbusters. Yes, we did.
I used to own one of the Ghostbusters pops. Like one of the women ones, but I can't. Melissa McCarthy's character. But it was only because I like Melissa McCarthy.
Female number 1. I don't remember her name.
Female number 1. Did you see the... so, this is another movie. Did you see the recent movie with Melissa McCarthy and... what's her name? Olivia... The chick from The Help. Where they're superheroes?
Oh, God, yes. I saw that. That was pretty funny.
Pretty funny.
Everything she's in is funny. I just don't watch
Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer, there we go. When I can't remember stuff like that, you know I'm tired, because I'm completely off my game.
Yeah, Stoltz being fired, that was a huge gamble on their part to fire him and bring Michael in and have him reshoot everything they just did.
But I thought like Bob Gale actually wrote the part with Michael J. Fox in mind.
Yeah, he did, but they couldn't get him yet.
And,
he was involved with family ties.
They were too impatient to wait for him, so they just went with their backup, and he was too serious for the role, so they just got rid of him.
Yeah, they said in the docu-series, he said that he was like obsessed with the ending to the Back to the Future, about how sad it was that Marty was living remembering a past that didn't really exist.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? You're living like a freaking prince now.
Yeah.
You know? Modern day prince. Like, who cares?
It's like you went from a skateboard to a brand new Toyota truck. I wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it sucks that Marty's life turned out the way that it did by 2015. You know, like, he gets back, he's got the truck, he's got the girl, and then he's pretty much a loser by 2015.
Yeah, but it corrects because he doesn't get into the accident at the end of that.
Well,
of part
Juliana,
3.
Ernie Hudson did not sound like Winston. He was Winston. This is stupid. That's odd. It's like that would be like Michael J. Fox going into audition for the Back to the Future cartoon. But no, I'm sorry, you just don't sound like Marty. Wait even 3 movies.
But yeah, in the movies that made us, he said that he shot Family Ties in the morning and then had to run to the other
Do Back to
set
the
to
Future at
film
night, and
Back
he'd
to the
sleep
Future
in
at
the
night.
car. They had like a station wagon with a mattress in the back, so he could sleep.
Wow. I mean, he was committed. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Wow.
I feel like that should have been like if they ever do make a. I don't know if I'd ever want a remake, but if they ever make it like with Marty's kid, the future version of Marty's kid or something.
It would still be him because Marty played his own kid.
Well, they can
And
get
his
a new
daughter.
actor. Yeah, that was weird, but they can get a new actor. I wouldn't hate that.
But who?
I don't know.
Honestly, Michael J. Fox's son kind of looks like him.
Can he act?
I don't know, but with what they did with Tron Legacy and how far they've come with computer graphics, it wouldn't be hard. I mean, look at what they just did with Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian. They could do it now.
Yes.
I'm not saying there should be.
Honestly, I hope there isn't because Hollywood has torn apart a lot of great film legacies by trying to recreate them.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Just let it go.
I agree with that.
Everybody hangs their hat on Cobra Kai, but Cobra Kai only works because it had Daniel and Johnny to begin with, and they're still bringing in characters from the movies to prop that show up.
Yeah.
Oh, Elizabeth Shue. Told you she aged well.
Yeah.
I didn't say she didn't age well. I would have just rather have had Claudia Wells at that point.
Yeah. No, I agree, Marty. That they've already said they would never allow it to happen as long, but doesn't mean someone else might gonna try.
Like I said, put Gail and some mattress on some kind of machine to where they just live forever. That way, there would never have to be an issue.
Just Tats. Hey, Tats.
Makes you wonder if we'll have an Egon appearance in Afterlife. The only spin-off that would work is either where Marty's kids and or Doc's kids.
Yeah.
No, I still think it works because this just the chemistry that Doc and Marty had, I don't think can be duplicated, and that's what made Back to the Future what it is. I mean, I don't see it.
Marty said probably they did that already with Doc's kids in the animated series.
I knew there was an animated series, but of course I've never seen it.
Animated series is pretty fun, but it's I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, but
not worth it.
I mean, it's a good watch. Yeah, it's animated, and then you have Christopher Lloyd like doing like skits and stuff in the middle.
So when I was watching that documentary that you told me to watch, Matthew, Christopher Lloyd, did he have a stroke or something? Like he seemed to like have trouble speaking.
Oh.
His speech seemed impaired though. It was weird.
He's probably just drunk.
Yeah.
Things happen when you get old. You're either drunk or you just can't function.
Yes, Jay Lee. That is the main reason why I will not buy the NECA animated series figures, because Biff looks like me. without a beard and a pointy head.
Well, you can autograph it.
No, I'm good.
That beard's growing back nice though, there, Bauer.
Yeah, it's sure. What's it only been like? Just over a month. A month in like 10 days, I think. It grows back quick. I tell people, like, don't shave it. It won't grow. It'll grow back quickly.
Right. Well, it looks silly for the first like couple weeks where you just got the little bit of peach fuzz, and then when it starts coming in, though, I mean, Matthew, have you ever grown a beard?
Mm.
Yeah.
He's got one now.
No, I mean like a beard, like a big beard.
Oh.
I'm not talking about like facial
yeah.
hair like that. I'm talking like a beard. No. Bobber, would you ever grow yours like down, like super far, like a foot down or anything like that?
I mean, I started to do it, and then I shaved it. But I mean, I thought about just letting it go all like Kenny Rogers and ZZ Top, and this had to be down to here. But I mean, I thought about it. Yeah, it's just a matter of, it's just the hard part is the Georgia summers are brutal. I mean, right now we're in like mid to high 90s during the day. So I mean, it's hot just with here. This. Yeah, growing it down even further would just make it even worse. But I would.
Yeah,
I had a mullet at 6.
It was humid here. Like it's literally been like living in Florida up here for lately. But
yeah. Today, tomorrow, and Friday are supposed to be in the high 90s, and then hopefully we'll get some rain this weekend and cool it off to 80.
Robert, read the chat. Matthew asked you a question.
You didn't think the tales from the... I mean, that would be kind of cool. But again, what I said earlier, Biff to the Future would be a much better movie. I think if they could draw it out and flesh it out a little bit more, I think that would be fun. But I mean, any of the comics from the Back to the Future would be great. Even just do them as like an animated movie will be kind of cool. Because them going back, them going further into the future was pretty cool. Them like dealing with it. I think they dealt with Jules and Verne more in the comics as well. Again, it's been about a year since I read those, so I have to go back through them. But reading those books, it gives you that idea of what a movie could be like if they drew on source material and not. We're gonna make Biff a Asian female, and Jennifer is gonna be really a golden retriever.
Golden retriever.
But I mean,
possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it's just weird what Hollywood does to movies today. But I mean, long story short, I would be okay with pretty much anything in those comic books. What is going on, Jason?
Hey, Jason.
All right, I'm gonna ask my favorite question to ask when it comes to movies, because again, usually it's the length of them that deter me. Is there any? I'm not gonna go by every movie either. I'm just gonna go by the entire trilogy. Is there any scene that you guys think they could have done away with, and it wouldn't have affected your love for the movie?
What movie? Oh.
I could cut one scene and have it not affect the whole movie.
I'm not saying it wouldn't have affected the movie. I said it wouldn't have affected your joy from the movie.
The scene of Marty and his mom in her bedroom from the first one where she's checking out his underwear, it creeped me out.
But that's also part of the running gag where he wakes up, he thinks he's having a nightmare.
It still creeped me out. The fact that she checked him out in his underwear.
I'm trying to think of a scene that doesn't mean much. I
just
I,
can you just part it, Matthew? I don't know how beards work.
the only thing I can think, or the only scene I can think of that you can get rid of that wouldn't really bother me would have been Marty in the diner looking for Doc Brown, in the phone book and stealing that. But other than that, I mean, that's a fun part about these movies is there's not a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of bullcrap scenes. He sees all that. Yeah, let's see what Jason says.
This is a dustbuster.
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah,
that was a funny
like,
scene though, Jason. That has to stay because the whole selling point of the almanac was the dust jacket, and if you like dust, you have the dustbuster. So that has to stay, my friend.
Did they need the scene where the principal took the almanac, or what was really the porn manual?
La la.
Because with that, if he doesn't take it, then it's just leading Morty away from Biff to try and create some separation.
Right.
I feel like that took too long, though. That the point where he's trying to get the almanac from him and the point where he finally does, I feel like that was just like, I mean, I know it's like several scenes. I feel like it was like too long, honestly.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, it showed the more human side of Strickland where he has to get away from the kids and get drunk.
Yeah. I probably shortened the scene where he's in the car trying to get the almanac out of like the back seat or whatever.
No, that fight was awesome only because at one point when Biff gets him the elbow and he just screams "Let it girl." This is hilarious to me. It's like, I got elbowed in the nose.
I don't know. I would just find a way to shorten that scene somehow. That scenes. Brandy.
I thought I said mine.
Oh yeah, you did. Matthew, do you have one?
I don't have one.
But I agree with you. The whole underwear thing is kind of creepy. Even if if it wasn't her future son, it would have been creepy.
They call Back to the Future 1 a perfect movie. Yeah.
That's why.
Well, in my defense, my scene is from the second one. So.
No, but what he's talking about is that's what they've called it. It had the perfect plot where it doesn't really lag. It's got characters that people can identify with. It's got science fiction. It's got history. It's everything put together.
I will agree with that. Another thing that I usually hate most about movies is that the beginning of it always seems to like very slow, and then finally it picks up towards the middle, and I hate that slow feeling you get in the beginning of the movie. I didn't feel that with this one at all. So
no,
I did appreciate that a lot. All right, guys. Well, we're approaching 2 hours. Thank you, Barbara and Matthew, for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And
I keep yawning.
Yeah, she's been yawning since before we hit the go live button, so we need to get Brandy to bed before she passes out and crushes Fenway.
Yeah, no kidding. As soon as we get off of here, I'm taking the dog out and I'm crawling into bed.
But next month what is the last Wednesday of next month? The 25th. So August 25th, we're going to be back here. Brandy is having to watch
Power Rangers.
Brandy is having to watch the 1995, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, the Turbo movie, which I'm sorry about that one, and the remake from 2017. And
wait, you're sorry about the Turbo one, and I already fell asleep trying to watch the first one?
The Turbo one isn't bad, but Turbo as a whole is just the worst thing that Power Rangers have ever done. But the movie is actually the best part about the series. But anyway, I've already asked Nadia because she was really excited when we talked about it on Mama J's few weeks ago. So Nadia's going to come on with us for that. And if anyone else who's a big Power Ranger fan wants to come on, let me know and we'll get you on.
Yeah, well, you'll finally get to see the shoes flipped.
Yeah.
Randy goes to Hollywood.
August is a bad month for me, so I really wanted you to do it, and I didn't have to put any pressure on myself for August. I hate the month of August. So I get to watch movies that I love, and I don't have to worry about anything else. So.
Good night, Umpty.
Good night, everyone. We're going to sign off of here. Also, guys, make sure, since Umpty just jumped in real quick, if you guys haven't watched my Toys for Tots video yet, please go back and do so. I've already had a few people reach out to me saying they'll be more than happy to donate. There's going to be quite a few people doing charity stuff around the holidays. I know Funko Rebel is also doing a Toys for Tots drive with actual toys, while I'm doing more on the monetary side of it. And Big Dog Dave is doing one for food banks. So definitely go check them out or check the video out if you have not already. I explain it a little bit better there. And I'll make another video when more information comes. But it's already shaping up to be a really good auction and charity. So hopefully it will be. So
awesome.
Definitely go check those out, guys. Links to all three of links to these two wonderful people plus Brandy are in the description box below. So you can definitely go check them out.
Completely nice all night.
Well, I had to put one zinger in.
Yeah, you did.
Wait till next month. When you're more awake, I'll get you. I'm not going to attack you when you're at your most vulnerable and have to sleep. So, and Juliana, you have to watch it too, apparently. So,
yes, you do, Juliana.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember, guys, like always, it's a community, not competition. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Good night, guys.